After a near 5 centuries long Rajput rule over the expanse of Delhi ended, the city was ruled as part of Muhammad Ghori's Sultanate.
After Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated in the Second Battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori's most successful general and one of his closest advisors, Qutbuddin Aibak, was appointed as the governor of Delhi, much like the practice of Britishers in appointing the viceroys in India. That was also a major transformation in the history of Delhi, becoming a city of rulers from just being a mere outpost of a kingdom.
A Turkic slave, Qutbuddin Aibak was specifically selected for military training and combat tactics at a tender age by the state. Given his talent and deeds, he was among those chosen in Ghori's several campaigns to expand the Ghurid Empire. Defeating the mighty rulers of Ghaznavi and stretching their territory from Kermanshah, now in the west of present-day Iran, to Afghanistan in the north and to the parts of India in the east. Qutbuddin Aibak gradually rose to the rank of general and became one of the most trusted nobles of Sultan Ghori.
In those days, slaves were given very high status. So they were bought for a lot of money, and some of them were already trained, some of them were bought as young children and then trained. And when Ghori came here and conquered Delhi in the Second Battle of Tarain, he left Qutbuddin Aibak here as his deputy. The first thing that they did was that they changed the names of the gates, because what is called Fateh Burj now, which is inside Lal Kot, I don't know whether you went to that or not, that was called Ranjit Gate. He changed the structure of the gates, I think fortified the walls to prevent anybody else getting in as easily as he did. And then they built their own buildings. They built 4 or 5 palaces inside Lal Kot. Now some were built in, I think 1 or 2 would have been built in Qutbuddin Aibak's reign. The rest were done under Iltutmish.
भाई उन्होंने जनाब यहाँ आकर उन्होंने इसको अपनी राजधानी बनाया और बाकायदा आबादी को जनाब सेटल किया और फिर उसके बाद यहाँ की आप खुद भी देखेंगे कि कुतुब मीनार दूसरी चीज़ें उन्होंने जनाब यहाँ पर बनाना शुरू और आगे जाहिर बात है जहाँ ऐसी चीज़ें बनाएगा जो आज तक जनाब यादगार बनी हुई है जाहिर है उन सब चीज़ों को दिल से बनाया है उसको अपना शहर समझा तो देखो तो जो थे वो असल में उनके दिल में बैठ चुके थे और बड़ी अच्छी चीज़ें यहाँ लोगों ने जनाब अपनी ज़िंदगी गुजारी.
In an early 13th century write-up of Hasan Nizami in Tajul Masir, when Aibak arrived at Delhi, the capital city of his kingdom, his sultanate, he received honors from the warriors and scribes alike. The city rejoiced as it welcomed a new emperor.
The city of Delhi was decorated like Garden of Iram. Its gates and walls were adorned with gold tissues of China and brocades of rum, and triumphal arcs were raised.
A new era was about to begin under Qutbuddin Aibak, Delhi's Sultanate, which laid foundation of nearly 7 centuries long Islamic rule in northwestern India, or to say a significant part of South Asian subcontinent. It also made Delhi a center of Islamic culture in this part of the world.
The era to follow came to be known as Mamluk dynasty, as its rulers were slaves. Qutbuddin Aibak, his successor Iltutmish, his daughter Razia Sultana, and then Balban. He also extended his influence and power by matrimonial alliances and married his daughter to Iltutmish, one of the ablest slaves who later on succeeded his throne of Delhi's Sultanate.
Qutub Minar is undoubtedly one of the most spectacular and historical sites associated with Qutbuddin Aibak and his rule. The construction of this minar began in 1200 AD, 8 years after his victorious Battle of Tarain. But an irony struck. Aibak couldn't live long enough to see the minar completed. He died a soft death as per records. Playing the polo, he fell off his own horse.
The minar was eventually completed in the year 1220 by his successor Iltutmish. The five-story red sandstone minar, now standing nearly 73 meters or 240 feet high and built on the pattern of Victory Tower at Ghazni, it remains to this day one of the most spectacular buildings in India dating to medieval era.
There are two or three theories. First of all is that it was a mazina, which is a tower for giving adhan attached to the mosque. The second is it was a victory tower. Now it's up to everybody to believe whatever they want to believe, but I feel it's too tall to be, like to give for the muezzin to climb up there. So it seems more plausible to me that it was a victory tower and meant to stamp their authority and their victory in Delhi after they had conquered it.
Among the most impressive of the minarets in the world, Qutub Minar rises like a flower and becomes more slender as it ascends to its apex. Divided into 5 stories, each of which has a balcony, the view from its top, now rare, once overlooked the old walls and ruins spread over the vast expanse of plains in Delhi.
Architects were Turkish because they had come with Aibak in the army. But all the artisans were local. Now that's the very interesting part, that the calligraphy that has been done on the Qutub Minar has been done by people who understood not a word of Arabic. So probably I feel as it is done in a knitting pattern or an embroidery pattern, somebody drew it for them and they just copied it.
इसके अंदर जनाब कुरान के आयत और ये तमाम चीज़ें जनाब उसमें कंदा की हुई हैं, यानी खुदी हुई हैं, और फिर उसके साथ साथ न सिर्फ ये बल्कि कैलीग्राफी का एक बेहतरीन नमूना है। आप अगर उसको देखें, जितनी भी इमारत है ऊपर से लेकर नीचे तक कुरान मजीद की जो आयत उसमें लिखी गई हैं, उन सब की जो मीनिंग्स हैं वो, और उसके साथ साथ उसकी जो डायरेक्शंस है, निकलते वक्त सूरज की जो लाइट जिस आयत के ऊपर जनाब पड़ती है उसकी जो मीनिंग्स हैं वो उस वक्त के लिहाज से उस पर जनाब पढ़ते हैं। इन चीज़ों को अगर आप गौर अगर देखें तो उसकी निशानियाँ खुद ताजमहल में भी आज जाकर जनाब मिली हैं।
The minar has also stood by the test of times and the elements. Lighting damaged its topmost story in the year 1368, which was rebuilt by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. In the year 1505, it suffered another jolt, this time by an earthquake. On September 1st, 1803, another major earthquake caused serious damage. 25 years later, British Army officer Major Robert Smith renovated the tower and installed a pillared cupola or a dome over the 5th story. But the cupola was taken down in the year 1848 under the instructions from Harding, the then Governor General of India. It was reinstalled at ground level to the east of Qutub Minar. It still remains there, known as Smith's Folly. But prior to Qutub Minar, Aibak ordered the building of a large mosque, Masjid Quwwatul Islam, whose work began soon after his conquest in the year 1193. Remains of the Rajput and even Jain era could be seen on the stones and columns of Quwwatul Islam. Masonries and water channels run along the boundary of mosque, whose super area houses both Qutub Minar and Chandragupta era iconic iron pillar.
So over here actually there were 27 Jain and Hindu temples, and when Muizzuddin actually bin Sam, that is Muhammad Ghori, conquered this area and he left Qutbuddin Aibak in charge here. So what they did was they just rearranged the temples into a mosque. So it ended up still looking like a temple itself. It didn't, change much from that. What they did was that all these pillars with the idols on it, they plastered it. Now the plaster has gone off. Sir Sayyid calls it Quwwatul Islam, which means that it is the might of Islam. But that's not the name that it was actually given. It was earlier given the name of Adina, which is the Friday mosque, because this was the congregational mosque. And the second name that it was given was Qubbatul Islam. So Qubba means dome. So a dome as in sanctuary of Islam where everybody was welcome. After making this, Iltutmish felt that this did look like a mosque. So he added these screens over there with calligraphy on it, which acted as the mihrab, which is the direction of Qibla towards which the Muslims pray.
Besides, Aibak also built his castle, Kasre Safed, altering the Lal Court. It housed his throne till the time of his demise. Neighbouring Qutub Minar and Quwwatul Islam, Mehrauli emerged the chief city of his reign, an effective capital as he ruled from Kasre Safed. Lying between the rough ride of declining Aravalis and Kila Rai Pithora, Mehrauli is a busy settlement even today.
इस जगह को जो माँ वली अल्लाह की जगह कहा जाता है, यानी वली यानी अल्लाह के दोस्त, वो लोग बड़े बुज़ुर्ग जो हैं वो सब जनाब यहाँ पर आते जाते रहे। यहाँ पर दरगाह की वजह से जो माहौल बना हुआ है अब बहुत पुराने ज़माने से, तो ये वली अल्लाह लोग यहाँ पर जनाब बराबर जनाब आते रहते थे। इसमें जनाब आपका दरगाह हज़रत ख्वाजा बख्तियार काकी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह की उनकी ये दरगाह है। उसके बाद यहाँ पर एक मस्जिद है जो बहुत मशहूर है दिल्ली के अंदर, और उसके पीछे शमसी तालाब है। तो दिल्ली के लोग काफ़ी जनाब यहाँ पर आते थे। महरौली आने का मकसद सिर्फ उनका ये था कि दुनिया के तमाम गमों को, दूनी फ़िक्रों को जनाब छोड़कर वो यहाँ तकरीबन 10-15 दिन, और वो ज़माना भी ज़्यादातर बरसात का भी ज़माना होता था।
अच्छा।
महरौली की जो सबसे ज़्यादा जो खूबसूरती थी वो ये थी कि जब बरसात बारिश आती थी तो यहाँ हर तरफ तमाम पहाड़ की छोटी मोटी जनाब पहाड़ियाँ थीं और उन पर बड़ी हरियाली जनाब हो जाती थी। शहर के लोग उन पहाड़ियों पर बिखर जाते थे, तो कोई जनाब ग्रुप यहाँ बैठा हुआ है, कोई यहाँ बैठा हुआ है। और दिल्ली वालों के अंदर जो सबसे ज़्यादा जो उनको खुशी इस बात से होती थी कि वो दिल्ली की 4 दीवारी से निकल के आने के बाद इन इलाक़ों में आकर 8-8, 10-10 दिन बल्कि महीनों रहते थे। अभी तक एक बावली है यहाँ पर जो गंधक की बावली कहता है। जब इसको बनवाया गया तो खोदते खोदते जब उसको नीचे तक पहुँचे तो पता लगा कि वहाँ पर तो गंधक के बहुत पहाड़ियाँ हैं, पहाड़ निकलते हैं। चुनाचे वो बावली आज भी यहाँ मौजूद है, और जिस पर दिल्ली में अगर किसी को स्किन डिजीज़ या कोई तकलीफ़ होती थी तो उनसे कहते कि भाई आप गंधक की बावली में जाकर नहाओ, तो ये आपकी सारी तकलीफ़ दूर हो जाएगी।
Once the old Havelis and residencies in the crowded streets of bigwigs in Mehrauli, now houses, glittering restaurants and shopping arcades.
This ancient settlement of Mehrauli, now a busy, bustling locality of South Delhi, has grown over the last many centuries. With its markets, shops, mandis. Also it houses several temples, mosques and shrines. Those places which established a new order of the city, an order of peace, learning and humanity.
Surrounded by several mosques, graves and vast ever-growing cluster of housing, the Dargah of Qutubuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, or Qutub Sahib, as he is known among his devotees, is the first ever Dargah of a Sufi saint in Delhi.
हज़रत ख्वाजा मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती ने हज़रत कुतुब साहब को अपना खलीफा बना लिया। उसके साथ ही आप हज़रत ख्वाजा मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती के साथ ही मुस्तकिल रहे और जनाब मुख्तलिफ़ जगहों का सफ़र किया। उसमें आपने हज के लिए भी मक्का मुकर्रमा और मदीना मुनव्वरा तशरीफ़ ले गए। जब ख्वाजा मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती अजमेर तशरीफ़ लाए, हिंदुस्तान तशरीफ़ लाए, तो आप उनके साथ अजमेर आए। जब ख्वाजा मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती ने आपको दिल्ली भेजा कि आपका मकाम दिल्ली है, तो आप दिल्ली तशरीफ़ लाए। दिल्ली में आप आकर सबसे पहले किलोट्री में क़याम किया आपने। वो वक्त शमसुद्दीन अल्तमश इल्तुतमिश के नाम से मशहूर है, उनका था। तो शमसुद्दीन अल्तमश को जब आपकी आमद की ख़बर मिली तो वो बुज़ुर्गों की और धार्मिक लोगों की बहुत इज़्ज़त करता था। वो आपसे मिलने के लिए किलोट्री जाया करता था। उसने दरख्वास्त की कि आप मेहरौली में आकर क़याम करें।
Once in earthen grey wonder canopies, Qutub Sahib's Dargah is now surrounded by 12 columns domed with arches, and a dome crafted with pietra dura. Every day devotees throng to Dargah offering flowers and chadar. On other festive occasions like Eid, Urs of Kaki Sahib or his mentor Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer and the famous Phool Walo Ki Sair, the place lights up.
Phool Walo Ki Sair, this historic festival originated here 200 years ago under the patronage of Mughal emperors. Although it was manned by British at the height of freedom struggle during Quit India movement, Pandit Nehru revived it again in the year 1961.
शाह आलम टू की को अंग्रेज़ों ने किसी जुर्म में उसने अंग्रेज़ जनरल के ऊपर गोली चला दी थी, उसको कैद कर लिया था। रानी ने मन्नत मानी, उसको वहाँ पर जो दरबार में मौलवी और पंडित थे उन्होंने कहा कि आप मन्नत माने कुतुब साहब के दरबार में और योग माया मंदिर में चैटर शहजादे को छोड़ दिया गया, तो आप यहाँ पर फूलों की चादर पेश करेंगी, योग माया मंदिर में फूलों का छतर पेश करेंगी। तो उसने मन्नत मानी और जब शहजादे को छोड़ दिया गया तो वो उसने हज़रत कुतुब साहब की दरगाह के ऊपर फूलों की चादर पेश की और योग माया मंदिर के अंदर फूलों का छतर पेश किया। ये ट्रेडिशन बन गया। जब किंगशिप की तरफ से जब कोई ऐसा वो होता है, बादशाह की तरफ से कोई प्रोग्राम, तो पूरा महरोल दिल्ली के जितने फूल वाले थे वो सब जहाज़ महल के तरफ और उधर दुकानें लग जाती थी, एक मेला का समा हो जाता था।
फूल वालों की सैर जो है हिंदू मुसलमान एकता का त्यौहार है। ये औरंगजेब ने शुरू करा था, उसके बाद इन औरंगजेब ने यहाँ पे मंदिर को तोड़ने की बहुत कोशिश करी थी, तो जितने भी मजदूर आए थे वो सब अंधे हो गए थे। उसके बाद उसने फूल वालों की सैर का ये वो चालू करा था उसने कि मंदिर में वो पंखे लेके आते थे, हम दरगाह में चादर लेके जाते थे। बीच में ये बंद हो गया था, फिर जवाहरलाल ने 1965 के अंदर ये दोबारा शुरू करा, जब से ये रेगुलर चलता आ रहा है।
The crowded Mehroli street also leads one to legendary Jogmaya temple. Associated with Lord Krishna's birth, the temple is among the most revered ones in Delhi.
कृष्ण जी की बहन है योग माया, जिनका जन्म यशोदा जी के यहाँ हुआ था और कृष्ण जी का जन्म जेल में हुआ था। जेल से कृष्ण जी चले गए गोकुल के अंदर, ये आ गई जेल के अंदर। जब कंस इनको मारता है तो ये आसमान में चली जाती हैं कि तेरे मारने वाला पैदा हो गया। तब इनके 3 रूप हुए। इनके शीश जो गिरा वो गिरा अरावली पर्वत पे। ये जो है मेहरौली, ये अरावली पर्वत है सारी, जो राजस्थान तक जा रहा है। ये धड़ जो है, जो बिजली चमकती है, ये मिडिल पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी जो बिजली चमकती है। पैर इनके हैं विंध्याचल में, जिसे विंध्यवासिनी देवी कहते हैं, विंध्याचल में, वो भी योग माया है। और ये 5500 साल पुराना मंदिर है कृष्ण जी के टाइम का। और महाभारत में श्री कृष्ण भगवान यहाँ स्वयं आए थे, यहाँ स्वयं बैठ के पूजा करी थी। जब अर्जुन कसम खा लेता है कि मैं सूर्य अस्त होने से पहले जयद्रथ का वध करूँगा, तब भगवान श्री कृष्ण 5 पांडवों को यहाँ लेके आए, यहाँ पूजा करी, इनकी आराधना करी योग माया जी की। तो इन्होंने प्रसन्न होकर कहा जाओ मैं दिन में रात कर दूंगी। इनकी इससे ही दिन में रात हुई, तब जयद्रथ का वध हुआ।
The establishment of Delhi from an outpost to a full-fledged city has thus begun, with Mehroli its pivotal metropolis.
After Qutbuddin Aibak's demise in the year 1211, his general Iltutmish, or Altamash as he is also known, seized power and ordered people to take an oath of allegiance in his name. Described as an able administrator, Iltutmish was the first sovereign to have exercised an independent power on the city of Delhi.
Under his patronage, cultural life of Delhi grew and flourished. He established Madarsa-e-Muzi, completed Qutub Minar, and extended Quwwatul Islam Mosque. The city became the seat of a powerful, creative government, giving way and patronage to the development of Indo-Islamic architecture. In a passage of Arab traveller Ibn Battuta, who travelled in Delhi in the year 1324, the writer says,
Iltutmish had set up 2 marble statues of lion at the gates of his palace. Bells attached with chains hung from the neck of lion statues. The victim of oppression would come by night and set the bell ringing, hearing which the Sultan would deliver justice.
A striking similarity to Amir Khusro's account on Anangpal Tomar's rule.
Iltutmish, as a young child, was, I think, captured by the slave traders. He belonged to a very prestigious tribe called the Ilbaris, and he must have been sold as a child. And there's a very nice story about him, that as a child he was given some money by his masters to go and buy some, I think, grapes in the market, and he went there and that money fell out of his hand. And a Sufi saint was passing by and he saw this young child crying, and he asked him, he said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "I was given money, I have lost it." So the saint gave him the money and said that it's destined that one day you're going to be a ruler, and when you become the Sultan, then make sure that you're always very good with the Sufis. And the maximum Sufis came under the reign of Sultan Iltutmish. Iltutmish, I think, was one of the most heroic figures of the medieval India. He was not only intelligent, he was very broad-minded. He is the one who, in fact, in spite of his Turkish ancestry and patriarchal mindset that was around him, he nominated his daughter as his successor, saying she's equal to 20 of my sons. And when he had gone to Gwalior on a campaign, he had made Razia in charge of Delhi, not the sons, he had many sons also. And apart from that, he was very saintly. And there is a story that when Qutub Sahab, that is Hazrat Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, passed away, and there was somebody needed to read his Namaz-e-Janaza. Now, Namaz-e-Janaza are the funeral prayers of the person, and according to Qutub Sahab's will, he had put 4 conditions, that only the person who fulfills these 4 conditions will read my Namaz-e-Janaza. And Iltutmish was the only one who could fulfill it.
He is also credited with introducing Iqta, a form of land assignment and revenue collection system. Iltutmish also introduced 2 basic coins of Sultanate era in the form of silver tanka and copper jital. Hauz-e-Shamsi, a large water reservoir built in the year 1230, is among some of the significant works during his rule. Bardic tales speak of Prophet Muhammad appearing in his dream, telling him the location to build a reservoir.
Iltutmish was very worried about there being no water for the people within Lal Kot. Then one night he had a dream that the Prophet has come in his dream and said that you go and search for my horse's footprint. That is Buraq, it's a celestial steed. Actually, it's not a horse, it is a cross between an ass, Buraq. So Iltutmish took the Qutub Sahab with him and said, "I've had such a dream, why don't you come with me?" And so both he and Qutub Sahab went, and they saw the footprint, the hoof print of Buraq, and they started digging there, and they found water. They made a reservoir which they called Hauz-e-Shamsi, and they built a small pavilion at the place where the footprint was, which was called Qadam Buraq. And the horse had so much of sanctity that it is said that during Ramzan, if anybody sat around it and read the Quran, he went straight to heaven. There were lot of graves over there because everybody wanted to be buried there.
In today's time, residential complex, community center and Mehroli's busy markets surround the margins of Hauz-e-Shamsi. Jahaz Mahal, a Lodi era structure, too stands on one corner of the reservoir. Another important remnant of Iltutmish rule is Sultan Ghari Tomb, the first Muslim mausoleum in India built after the death of his eldest son, Prince Nasiruddin Mahmud. Lying in the ruins and Kikar jungles of Vasant-Kunj in southwestern Delhi, the tomb is now visited by few and far between. The ruins running parallel to the tomb stands witness to the era's bygone.
After ruling Delhi for more than 25 years, Iltutmish died in the year 1236. He lies buried here in the vast Qutub complex with Qutub Minar overseeing his tomb right behind Qumatul Islam Mosque. Interestingly, he chose his daughter Razia Sultana to succeed him over his son.